Hello and welcome to day 2 of our Ultimate 420 Guide. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Good morning. 420 is quickly approaching. My name is Wally and I am part of Meadow's SoCal team. I lead social equity initiatives as well as help out on the marketing front. So to help you get ready, we've created the Ultimate 420 Dispensary Guide, covering everything from smarter marketing for bigger sales, the right inventory, stocking the right inventory at the right time, and creating an omni-channel sales strategy. So we'll send you the full PDF guidebook to review via email. Aria will drop a link to the chat in there now, and you can follow along as we review. So if you're just joining us and getting to know us, Meadow, here at Meadow, we make it easy for California dispensaries to sell more cannabis with less work. Since 2014, we've been building a complete suite of connected cannabis, retail, delivery, e-commerce, CRM, so important into the discussion. We talked so much about that yesterday, about the CRM and marketing tools. Everything is designed to work together in one complete suite to grow your business and make you more money. So let's dive right back in where we left off regarding inventory. Your inventory is the lifeblood of your business, and you want to ensure you have a smart stocking strategy well in advance of the biggest sales day of the year. 420 success hinges on having the right products in the right quantities to meet demands. Okay, too little product and you can leave cash on the table while disappointing customers. Too much product takes up valuable shelf space and ties up capital in unproductive inventory. So the first thing you want to do is review your historical inventory data to ensure you have the proper mix of product on hand. At Meadow, we've recently launched our premium inventory analytics with 2 new powerful inventory tools, Velocity and Insights. These both give retailers interactive data and charts to answer all your questions about sales, customers, products, and revenue right inside your Meadow admin. There's no need to download spreadsheets. Everything is right in front of you in an instant and accessible from any device. These premium tools are designed to give you the information you need to make fast, effective, data-driven decisions. Velocity forecasts inventory demand and shows you what needs to be ordered and when. It'll be the tool your buyers can't live without. And how does this change everything? This is a really, really significant change what we're doing as a POS system, because now we're changing from your inventory managers looking backwards, right? Looking backwards and constantly referring to historical data because they're having to spend so much of their time, if not the majority lion's share of their time, analyzing the data to inform their buying decisions. Now, because we're doing that, we're automating all that, we have buyers looking forward and being able to test out products, to being able to make smarter decisions and execute discounts with intention. This is a big difference. It's a big way Meadow makes our teams more money. So striking that perfect balance of just enough inventory, just in time, requires data about products, sales, customer demographics, and past 420s. That data can then be turned into actionable insights like what to order, when to order for just-in-time inventory, what to order and what not to order, which product should be moved through sales or promos, how many days of inventory you have on hand, your best and worst selling products, when products will run out of stock, and which products are selling fast and which ones are slowing down, right? It's not only the ones that aren't selling, it's also we have to think of it in terms of the inventory starting to descend in velocity. On the screen, you can see examples of velocity, which gives you at-glance information about product and brand performance. Historical data is a great place to start when forecasting holiday inventory. You'll want to review data from 420 of last year, including growth in traffic and revenue, your highest and lowest performing promotions, your highest and lowest performing brands and products, and increases in customer basket size. Your top performing categories, brands, and products over the last 30 days, 3 months, and 6 months, okay? You also want to look at your low performing categories, brands, and products over the last 30 days, 3 months, and 6 months. And this is all because we got to think about it in 2 ways. Not only are we considering all this data in terms of what to stock, but also what to discount, which we talked about so much yesterday, is how these two things, stocking and discounting, work hand in hand to make more efficiency and increase your margins overall. You also want to take a look at your current and historical customer demographics, including age and how they referred to you, how they referred to you. So you know where you're spending your advertising dollars this year to drive that foot traffic and that acquisition. Okay. And we talked about acquisition yesterday, and we talked about it in terms of retention as well, because retention, those that are more focused on retention this upcoming year are going to have a better go of it. I promise you that. Trends in cannabis are always changing, so make sure you're staying up to date with what your customers actually want. Historical data is the best place to start when forecasting holiday inventory. How much inventory did you sell last April? What sold out and what didn't? What were your best-selling products? Which products were the best revenue drivers? Once you have a historical baseline, look at your current best and worst sellers, know which products are moving the fastest so you can stock up accordingly. Make sure you are consistently monitoring items that perform poorly so you can clear them out and make room for something else. To know your best and worst sellers, look at product velocity. A product's velocity is the number of units sold on an average day, which shows you how fast you sell through each product and how well they perform. So in terms of Meadow, we show that. We have a specific velocity forecasting tool, which you can see a screenshot of there on the screen, which will show you at a glance how fast or slow products are moving. So you always know your best and worst performers, how many days of inventories you have on hand, and when to reorder. You want to use these insights around current trends to create a product mix tailored to your customers' buying behaviors. Maybe you weren't open last 4/20 for all the new licensees, or you've seen a shift in sales and customer data since then, okay? So we can look, if you weren't open last 4/20, it's okay. Let's use the last 3 months and the quarter before that and compare 2 quarters, okay? Let's compare Q3 of last year, well, Q4 of last year over the Christmas, right? Which is a good parallel to 4/20, and the Q1 of the new year. And let's compare what those sellers are and inform, once again, stock accordingly to what you're looking to at in terms of your customer data. I mean, your historical inventory data. The other data you want to review to help forecast inventory demands is your top categories and brands, products in the past 3 months, numbers of customers and orders, and the average cart size over the past 3 months. Don't forget to stock up on impulse items, low cost, high margin products like pre-rolls. Pre-rolls always go well. And single serve edibles, as well as ancillary products like lighters, grinders, vape batteries, and apparel, and some backwoods. Make sure you get stock up on some backwoods cigars so you can represent for all your blunt rollers. Sell these high margin items with each purchase. Okay. So setting low inventory notifications. What's the best way to run out of best sellers? Set up automatic low inventory notifications. I don't know if other systems have this, but on Meadow, we have par levels. And I know some of them have a version of it, but we have par levels for each individual product. So what does that mean? That means you can set a par level or an inventory threshold, which is what we call them internally, for any product. So say you got some Stizzy pre-rolls, right? Or some Stizzy vapes, and you can set a inventory alert that when you run under 25, it's going to email and let you know that you're under 25, okay? And we could do that for each product, so you never run out, okay? So you want to decide which products you want to get low inventory notifications for, set the inventory threshold, and determine who should be notified. We recommend setting up a dedicated email address because it can be a lot of alerts. So set up a dedicated email address that your inventory manager can just go through and scroll through and know exactly what they want to buy. But also keep in mind that we're using 2 things, right? Now we're using the thresholds and pushing it up against the inventory, the velocity. These are the 2 things levers we're constantly watching. When your inventory drops below the threshold, you'll get a low flag in your product list. All right, so we're getting to some best practices that ideally you've been executing well before 420. But I also want to keep in mind, and we don't really talk about it in the guidebook, but this is something also to keep in mind as you're considering what you got going on pre 420 and then post 420. Post 420 is a really singular moment for a dispensary, okay? It enables, if you're going to be changing your SOPs, if you're going to get better at your SOPs, if you're going to try out new items going forward, here's a great chance, because ideally, if you've done your work right, you're at a very low inventory point, okay? So to what we're about to talk about, we're going to start talking about cycle counts, right? Which are internal inventory audits. If you weren't doing them pre 420, like you should have been, at least twice a week on each product category. So each product category twice a week, so I mean by that, on twice a week, you're counting all your flowers and making sure that your package counts in your metric are matched to your Meadow account. And your vapes, you're doing that, right? So if you haven't been doing that, post 420, great time to start doing it, because it's a much more manageable situation. You're a lot lower in quantity of all your products. So frequent cycle counts are integral to inventory management. Here, cycle counts clock shrinkage. And shrinkage is still a major issue and by that shrinkage, we're talking about internal loss prevention, damaged goods, external loss prevention. If you're detecting, understanding what's moving, what's not if your system has inefficacies, you're going to catch them with cycle counts. The BCC requires that you could conduct a full inventory count once every 30 days. If you find that you have large discrepancies, we suggest conducting cycle counts more frequently, as often once a week. I say twice a week, each product category, because you can build it in to your staff's work, right? On Meadow, you can have an iPad and a scanner, and you can have people, before you leave, hey, go scan out all the vapes. It's a great way to do it. Just build it into the SOPs. Smarter cycle counts. So if you're still counting your shop's inventory based on a CSV spreadsheet of exported products or quantities, you're losing money. You're losing money on labor. You're losing money on time. And I'm going to go ahead and just question the efficacy of your POS system, because it shouldn't be. If that's the best way that you can do adjustments on your inventory, then why are you paying for your POS system? Your POS system should automate that and make that workflow very easy, very approachable. So what's talked about, what you have to consider is what the term is a blind cycle count. Okay, this is the difference. If you're exporting a spreadsheet and you're like, my POS says I have 40, and you go and you have to go search and go count those and try to compare, that stinks. That takes forever and it's ineffective. A blind cycle count is the ability, and this is what Meadow enables, is that cycle counts, you don't know the quantity and you go and you scan the items, okay? Blind cycle counts don't tell employees which inventory products or how many to expect. Rather, they count and report what is in front of them, okay? So that's the difference. You're counting what you actually have, not what you're supposed to have, what you actually have. And within the discrepancy is your problem. So this greatly increases the accuracy of cycle counts and reduces errors, theft, confirmation bias, inventory losses, and compliance risk. Once again, we're back to compliance, as all things in cannabis are. So know your shrinkage. You're required by law to know your monthly inventory discrepancy, AKA your inventory shrinkage, and keep it under 3%. Inventory shrinkage is the loss of inventory due to factors such as internal loss, shoplifting, errors on purchase orders on inventory reception, or errors at the register, which happen all the time. People scan the wrong item, or one item isn't appropriated properly. These things happen. Know and monitor your shrinkage to stay compliant with BCC regulations, reduce missing SKUs, and keep more cash in your pocket. Finally, a bonus tip: consider stocking a diverse shelf. In addition to stocking up on your tried and true best-selling products that you know are going to move, consider stocking new products and running campaigns to educate your consumers about the stories behind them. Customers are becoming more sophisticated and want to support businesses like equity brands, women-owned brands, and local and craft regional brands. Okay, that's such a great tip to have what the other stores don't have. So often in cannabis retail, where we do know collectively as an industry what the top companies are, what the top brands are. So do the consumers, but when you show them something new, and this is where your buyer comes in, this is where your relationship with the brand reps come in, where they come in. If you like something, test it out. If you see a new brand arises, then you as a retailer have a brand that no one else has for the time being. You know, there's something to that. This goes back into your staff's education and knowing what they're selling. You know, it's such an opportunity. And keep in mind that we're all in this. The whole supply chain works together. So you keep in mind there's an opportunity with newer brands to create a relationship. This is reflected in the net terms through the distributor in terms of to give you better margins, some better sell-through options in terms of your terms on your POs. So take those calls, sit with those teams, and learn about new products. It makes for a better store. And you can still hold the best sellers as well. All right. So now we're going to talk about organizing your inventory to move. Old FIFO. First in, first out. So for new operators, this is probably the most important acronym to remember. FIFO is an inventory management best practice. To ensure that the oldest inventory gets sold first. Okay, just think of it as milk. Okay, you're selling the old milk before the new milk because it's going to expire. Because cannabis products do have expiration dates, it's important that your entire staff knows how to follow the FIFO method, because before the 420 rush hits, especially if you have new employees, make sure you are following best practices for inventory management, restocking shelves, and keeping your packages organized with proper labeling and moving products so the oldest inventory gets sold first. Okay. Pen and paper for all the new operators in the room. This is important. When you receive products, we recommend the following. Use black Sharpies to label packages with the date received and the sell by date on the outside of the cardboard box. Okay, so for this, if you go onto Amazon, you can look up, if you look up like sell by date labels or food and beverage date labels, you're gonna see a slew of labels that they use in food and beverage, and they're just stickers, and you can put the date, or it says sell first, okay? You wanna do that, and then you wanna have bins, and you wanna bin in the order you receive. And you want to have pull first, right? You can put sell first or pull first. So your team, your front of the house team knows this is where you're pulling from to stock the floor or to stock for your delivery operators to load the bags. Okay, super important. This is where the analog meets the digital, okay? Because it's not only the expiration date, we're also selling from the appropriate packages. We're selling the inventory in the reception that we received them in terms of the packages. If you do this, you reduce your compliance exposure significantly. It's the simplest way to reduce your compliance exposure in addition to cycle counts. Ensure the boxes are physically organized so the newest products get stored in the back and the oldest products are in the front. Always go to the first out the door. Okay. So managing multiple inventory locations with Meadow is easy. You can easily track products across different locations, like the vault back stock, the sales floor. It also enables you to set more than one sales channel so you can differentiate between your orders made via your website or at your POS. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about inventory workflow, like a inventory workflow here that some teams do. And it's it seems like more work, and it kind of is, but what it does is it saves time in the long run, but it's a high accountability workflow, and that's working with vault backstocks. Okay, so for teams that work with vault backstocks, what that means is they receive all their inventory into a vault backstock, into a digital location, a vault backstock, which you can do, and then every day or every 2 days, they transfer a set amount of inventory to the sales floor or sales location inside their system. Inside Meadow, it's pretty neat. Why do they do this? Because what they're doing is they're constantly keeping track. They're like building a cycle count into their sales flow, because they know that vault backstock is not exposed to sales or shrinkage. It's just sitting back there, right? It's not on the floor. It's not getting it's reducing internal theft, front of house theft, et cetera. And then when you're doing the daily or bi-weekly transfers to the site, you're controlling how much goes out. So you're kind of building a cycle count into your retail sales flow, but it's very specific. But I do see some teams do that with a high degree of efficacy. Okay, so I'm going to just stop there just for a sec. Did anybody have any questions so far? All right, let's continue. We're going to go for till about 10:45 here. So as you're planning your 420 product mix, you want to review your data to find how many days you've had any package or what date you received it. If you have a surplus of products, especially products nearing their expiration, it's time to get them moving. Set up a generous discount and send it out to customers who have purchased that product, similar SKU, or within that product category before. As Senior Omni-channel Merchandise Planning Manager at MedMen, Jem Atlee reminds us he's a brilliant genius. This is a great tidbit of knowledge. I love this one. This is free, like move your bottom line. If you have an unproductive SKU on the floor or on your menu, look at the previous 3 months worth of sales, replace that one SKU with your average performing SKU and see what it does. You'll be mind blown. With our inventory velocity tool, you can instantly see how fast products are moving and what's sitting still. This data shows you which products need to be marked down with discounts and what promos to make space for faster moving items. Okay, so we made it to the third and final section of the guidebook, which is creating an omni-channel sales strategy. Before we move into it, do we have any questions? If so, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Hi, Genevieve. Thanks for joining us. We just covered inventory best practices. Hey, Nikki, I see you. If you have any questions regarding yesterday we talked about marketing best practices, which I'm happy to talk about, and the power of your CRM before we go into 420. But right now we're moving into the last portion of the guidebook. We're going to go for probably about another 15 minutes. So if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat and I'm happy to engage. Okay. All right, here we go. This year, more than ever, customers expect to be able to buy your products in every single sales channel: in-store, online, delivery, express pickup, phone orders. Okay, that's how we're defining omni-channel sales. Just so we're speaking the same language. A multi-channel approach to omni-channel sales means a multi-channel approach to sales that focuses on providing seamless customer experience, whether their customer is shopping online, from a mobile device, a laptop, or in a brick and mortar store. So let's go back to that list and talk about COVID and talk about what's changed, because I want to break this down, because often retailers think that means I just need to have it everywhere. It's deeper than that, okay? Because when we talk about, this is the sales strategy, not just showing your products everywhere. That's different. That's just having your products everywhere. This is actual sales channels. So in-store, online, delivery, express pickup, phone orders. Okay, these are the top level channels of communication with your customer. Okay, these are not. This is not only if we're going to break it down, because the other two would be Leafly and Weed Maps, right, where we're showing our products. What we have to consider is every one of these is a touch point for your retail, for you as a retailer. It's a touch point to have a positive engagement and upselling opportunity with your sales staff. Okay, Meadow does all of this. We're across this. No third-party integrations. We sell across all of these. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So in store, we talked about it on the webinar a couple of days ago. Natalie was talking about the power of upselling. You know, once again, I always say to retail teams that are looking wholly focused on SEO marketing best practices and looking for magic ways to drive more business and gain more revenue, I always say your money would be better spent by hiring a good front of house team that can actually upsell. SEO, you're competing with everyone. With your sales staff, you're creating a relationship and you're actually moving average cart size. Okay, this is the power of a sales staff. For delivery operators, this crosses into phone orders. Okay, you get a lot of phone orders. If you're new licensees or running a new delivery operation, delivery services as well as retailers get a fair amount of phone orders, and you do manual order creation. If your staff does not have product knowledge to upsell over the phone, remember, this is all an extension of your customer experience, whether it be in store, whether it be from your website. You're relaying the same customer experience, right? Because the name of the game is not acquisition. Okay, 420, there's going to be more than enough business to go around. It's retention. Retention is the name of the game. So look at every one of these sales channels, not just as a way for more people to put orders in. No, that was last year, the year before. Now, welcome to new retail, but more cannabis becoming more mainstream, the recreational market growing. Your job is to make sure your staff is engaging with the customers in a positive way that makes them come back. And it all works together with your POS, with loyalty and rewards, right? With your loyalty and rewards and your engagement after the fact. How did you like that order? We think of text marketing always in cannabis is like, I got the best happy hour deal. Come buy all these things from me during the hours of 4 to 6. You love vapes. I got lots of vapes. How about a better engagement strategy in terms of asking customers, how did you enjoy that? What can I interest you in this? Can't wait to see you again. That's what we're talking about. That's what you can do all inside Meadow. Meadow allows that kind of targeted engagement that you can't get on other systems. I get passionate about that because I get frustrated with so many teams thinking that there's a magic key or a magic way to hack their way to big business when you just have to do good customer service. that gets lost in the mix. All right, so here we go. Reaching your customers wherever they shop. The most successful dispensaries offer omni-channel sales, making it easy to accept orders everywhere customers are shopping, in-store, online, pickup, and delivery. Are all of your revenue streams set up and ready to accept orders? In-store, online, and mobile, express and curbside pickup, delivery, weed maps, Leafly, phone orders. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the e-commerce portion. And when I mean the e-commerce portion, I'm talking about your website menu as well as your Leafly and weed maps. So think about it in this. Is back to your inventory stocking, is that you are trying to do some menu curation. If you've done your job right, up until this point, and here we are like a week before 420, you've looked at all your historical sales data. You've known what sold over the past 2 quarters, right? And you know, you're having a sense of like, you put in your orders with distributors, you go like, we're gonna go hard with our concentrates, with some stizzy packages, some cookies, some Durban poison, get everything, right? Now, when we're looking to drive volume, don't think you have to order, this is the thing as a buyer, don't think you have to order all of everything. Order your top best sellers and curate your menus on Leafly, on Weed Maps, on online, right? Why are we doing that? Because we're gonna kind of overstock what we know people want, okay? And then we're also gonna streamline our operations for curbside pickup, for curbside delivery, as well as the Leafly and Weed Maps crowd, okay? We're streamlining it internally. This is what the change is, because we know exactly what they're selling. Think of it like this. It's almost like a buffet for a hotel or a restaurant, or a price fixed menu. The kitchen can move faster, right? People are not pulling from as much. You're reducing your chance for error. You're standardizing orders, right? And this is how we build volume, right? This is how we build volume. Inside the store, and for your phone orders, you can still upsell. And you have all the products, you have your full product offering, but over this seasonal time. And you know, retailers across industries do that. That's why you see like TVs going for $250, you know, Black Friday, similar thing. They're overstocking that. And we just posted, for those of you that just joined us, the full ultimate dispensary guide is there in the chat. All right. So here we go. Moving on. Training bud tenders to increase orders. Here we go. Upselling. Ensure customer-facing staff are following sales best practices. Even when there's a line out the door, you want to train your team to be friendly, ask customer questions, and recommend additional products they'll love for their 420 celebrations. Happy customers will rave about your business to their friends and brag about the VIP service they consistently receive. People love feeling important. Make sure your retail experience is memorable. Retail expert Natalie Jo Gay on how to build a winning sales team that naturally sells more products. And let's just say, retail rule of thumb, unfortunately, people love sharing their friends, but they also love sharing their bad experiences too. So this is the other side of it, right? We have high exposure, high volume on this day. Let's be conscious of that both ways. Huge opportunity to grow our customer base. Also an opportunity, everybody needs to step up, have turn it up a notch, and make sure that each and every customer touch is of value. So build trust by connecting with each customers. People can shop anywhere for anything. I love when Natalie says this. They will choose your place of business because of personalized interaction. More than ever right now, people crave attention. Ensure your staff greets and engages each customer. And for those of you that weren't with us the other day when Natalie was doing the upselling, she gave, it's the best. It's my new favorite saying. You want your sales staff to be the friend the customer didn't bring. I think that is the very perfect way to say it. That totally describes the perfect sales relationship. You want your sales staff, and this can be over the phone. You want them to be the friend that they didn't bring, right? That's the kind of trust that we want, and genuine interaction. Ask questions and listen. Once a genuine question is made, this can be within the first few seconds of interacting, a customer will typically reveal information about their life, reason for being in your business, their lifestyle. Listen to what they're saying. What are their 420 plans and what kind of products they usually purchase? Practice suggestive selling. Your customers don't always know everything you sell. People appreciate when their needs are anticipated. Listen to the customer to suggest what you think they may like. It's important this done in a genuine way because people also sense when someone is trying to upsell for their own gain. If you suggest something they never realized they needed, they'll love you for it. That's such a great piece of advice. This is the secret. When customers feel like their favorite bud tender really knows them and they trust their recommendations and keep coming back for new products, making sure each customer experience is as positive is one of the best things you can do for your business. Why? Retention. Once again, retention, retention, retention. So I'm going to stop there to see if anybody have any questions regarding any of that. All right, so let's get into some upselling best practices. Okay, start with the data. In addition to practicing suggestive selling, train your front of house staff to review your CRM data, including notes about a customer's preferences and previous purchase history. Ask how they enjoyed these products and showcase any new products from brands or categories that they might love. From my days in retail, I can say when we talk a customer, like about a salesperson's book of business, that was a real thing. I literally had a book that I kept of my best-selling customers, their contact information, and I had everything they bought. I kept their customer history. It's worthy to not only empower your inventory team with your data, but your sales team. Who are your best customers? Do you know them? Why don't you start gathering that information and putting a spreadsheet together so you can actually see, and each salesperson has their book of business. Our system enables that. You can see total purchase history by customer. Engage with that before 420. Boost bud tenders' ability to upsell with staff samples. Your staff will have a hard time selling a product to customers if they don't know anything about it. You want to ensure there's ongoing education for your sales team about new products. Be sure your whole team is knowledgeable about the products on your shelf so they can properly recommend and upsell. Stocking essentials next to the register for easy upsells. Make sure your dispensary is set up with easy to grab common items like lighters, rolling papers, and grinders next to the register. Train your team to ask at least one of these questions to every customer who comes in through your doors. Do you need a lighter with that? Do you want rolling papers, filter tips, or a grinder too? Do you want to grab one of our single serve edibles or penny pre-rolls or whatever special you're running? Driving sales with friendly competition. This is about incentivizing your sales team. You want to create systems to incentivize and reward your staff for hitting certain goals. It motivates your team, keeps them engaged, and gives you an opportunity to celebrate them. Consider launching an Employee of the Month or other reward program that incentivize your team to go above and beyond to delight your customers. This includes staff discounts, cash bonuses, a paid day off, their favorite products to enjoy, a gift certificate to a local restaurant or Starbucks gift card, VIP dispensary swag. I love my favorite one, visible recognition. That's not my favorite one. But the favorite one, I got no beef with visible recognition. I've been Employee of the Month maybe once or twice. But what Natalie suggested is make your own schedule for 2 weeks if you are the top seller. That is a incentive if I've ever heard one. That's the best. That's getting them. Everybody wants to make their own schedule. That's a great incentive. You can use reporting to see which one of your bud tenders has the highest sales, and then you want to try to raise those numbers for those who aren't moving as much product by making sure that everybody has a broad product knowledge and is inspired to sell. So we're coming up on 10:45 here. I'm gonna kind of start wrapping it up. Does anybody have any questions? You know, we at Meadow, we put together this whole guidebook because we really want to see dispensary teams be successful. This 420, we're learning so much about how much it's been going over these past few years, and we really want to go forward and have all these teams go into the guidebook, use it. It's a free resource. We're happy to engage on it. And if you're looking to get engaged on marketing best practices and better practices for your team, please reach out. Wally@getmeadow.com. If you're a new operator, I'm happy to go deep into everything from staffing to marketing best practices, and also how you move forward and how you make the most money in this industry. We know that. We can say that definitively. Thank you so much for joining us. Sell more cannabis with less work. That's what we do. All right. I'll talk to you all soon. Thank you so much.